Alrighty, so the Slime Collab has already started their 3-day countdown on Global, and I said that whenever, it came out on JP and KR that I was going to plan on trying to do as much research on them as possible so that way I could kind of tell you guys whether or not you should invest into maybe some of the characters or if it's just not worth your time or materials or whatever the case may be, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing today. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I do content on the video, or, on the game every day. And we're definitely going to be hopping into the Slime Collab in the coming week. So let's start out with, I guess, Rimaru, the slime one, and he doesn't get a Holy Relic, and he doesn't really get much of anything. So not worth investing into unless you just really want to. I think he's a fun, like a account representative character because you can hop around in PvP, but that's basically all he has going for him. This is the old blue Rimaru. Luckily, I was playing during the old collab, and I do have all of the original characters, but all of them except for Slime Rimaru are 1/6. So I don't have anything super crazy, but I at least have them, so I don't have to worry about pulling them on the new collab, which is good because the banner has really bad rates for the old characters. This blue Rimaru, I've seen a couple of videos on, and from various people, and even with them like investing a lot into him and trying to use different kinds of teams to make him look good, he really just isn't good. Which I guess is another reason why they're going to be giving this character away for free. If you don't know, I think it's the special missions that they're going to be doing for the collab. They give you one free copy of this blue Rimaru, so I guess that's cool that you'll get him. I mean, the only thing that I know that he's like pretty decent for is the Ifrit sort of raid boss that will come out not as soon as the collab drops, but it comes out the week after that, and that's actually how you get, I think it's the Holy Relic materials for the original characters, but I'm not super positive on that. But yeah, he just looks very underwhelming on video. He doesn't seem like he's really doing a whole lot. Obviously, a lot of their different things get reworked. I think all of the original characters' passives get reworked, and they get stat buffs. So I don't have any of that stuff to show you at the moment because it's not out yet. But yeah, I don't know. This character kind of just underperforms a bit, which is still unfortunate. But they do have decent cosmetics. There will be a new set that actually comes out along with the old characters, with the collab coming out, where you can buy one set for each of the old characters to give them all 5 cosmetic slots and everything. I would, unless you just, have FOMO and you're like, it's limited time, I've got to get it while it's here. I can understand that, but this character I don't think I'm going to be buying the one for this character. It just doesn't really seem worth it to me. Plus, I know that I'm never going to use this character, so I don't know. Rimaru, kind of underwhelming. Moving on, Milam is actually pretty interesting. I feel like I've seen a couple of videos where she, actually does well, but it's one of those things where I can't tell if it's just like YouTuber man has a lot of money and resources that he can put into the game and these characters to make them look better, like by completely maxing them out. I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on her because I've seen that she can do well in some PvE events and stuff like that, and I'm kind of, I like the PvE aspects of this game, so she'll definitely be a character that I invest into. I'll try to mess around with her enough to actually give you a decent answer a little bit later on whether or not you should invest into her, but she seems like one of those characters that might look good if she's completely maxed out, but if you don't have the resources and stuff to do so, I could definitely see her like underperforming. I don't think that she's going to be like, oh my god, top tier meta, you need to run this unit kind of deal, but I think that she can hold her own maybe. So I don't know, we'll kind of have to just keep a little bit of a closer eye on this one. But she's kind of cool. I think I will end up buying the extra outfit for her. Bennymaru is a very interesting one because his Holy Relic makes him a bit better, and he's not necessarily a bad unit, but he kind of ends up becoming like a crit-based unit. They definitely buff his crit chance quite a bit, and I think the Holy Relic actually adds to that a little bit as well. So he ends up getting pretty decently high crit chance, but with as much crit resistance and stuff as people have in today's meta, it kind of ends up being really hard for him to crit, and he doesn't do too much damage if he doesn't crit. So it's kind of like a give and take kind of unit, like pretty good, but you have to run like weird characters in support, like red SR Slater, to lower their crit resistance and such for him to actually be able to do big numbers, and that's going to hurt your CC a lot. So I don't think that this character is necessarily like a good one to invest into unless you just want to have fun with the unit. But don't let me stop you if you're already interested in messing with the character. I mean, by all means, do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, like, from a competitive standpoint, you probably don't want to waste your materials on this unit. But I'll probably mess with him a little bit because he is a cool character. I do like him in the show. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I'm going to buy the extra cosmetic for this one. But, collabs are very good at draining your money. So that is it for the ones that we already have in the game. We'll move over to the 2 new characters that are not out just yet on Global. Shuna is very middle of the road from what I can tell. Like, she's a really good support character for the unknown teams and stuff, but I think just as a whole, she ends up underperforming and not really being as good as you would want her to be. So that's a little bit disappointing. I think it kind of solidifies the fact that I would have rather had Shion or any other character instead of Shuna. I would have liked another aggressive character, honestly. Like, I mean, unknown support characters are, okay, I guess, but we already have Rom. We already have a decent amount of just like unknown characters in general that can kind of help pad the team. I don't think we really needed this character, to be honest, like as far as like with the way that her kit works out, but she's kind of interesting. She can work here and there, but I don't know. I don't think that this character is like super crazy good. I don't think you're really going to see her too much unless it's just people messing around, like trying her out, or, just I don't know, trying to get something to work with her. But she's got a stun at level 2, cancel stances, which is kind of nice in today's meta because there are a pretty decent amount of stance characters. The rejuvenate on the heal card is kind of okay, and it works out a little bit because if you pair it with the Holy Relic, it actually, when you use the recovery skill, it removes a debuff, which can be okay, but I don't know. It gives you 1 buff, which is pretty decent for the new Rimaru, but at the same time, if they're running Rimaru, it's going to remove the buff as soon as it becomes his turn because Rimaru removes a buff, so that's kind of unfortunate. The ultimate just depletes ultimate move gauge, which is a little bit, lackluster, a little bit disappointing as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that this character is all that great, but like I said, I'll just have to mess around with her a little bit whenever she comes out. So I don't know, kind of not super interested in this one. But the big one is the new Demon Lord Octagram Rimaru, which is from Season 2, and he seems very impressive. He can do a lot of damage with this Pierce card on his own. His AoE Infect card actually deals pretty good damage on his own, and his ultimate is absolutely nuts. So luckily it's a really good ultimate to the fact of where you don't really need a whole lot of dupes to make it like actually do well. So that's actually really nice because for collab units, chasing 6/6 and stuff like that can be really, really hard. So I guess it's nice to know, like, I mean, I don't ever chase for more than just 1/6 if I don't have to. So this is going to be really nice for me, I guess. But he's got an Abyss ultimate, which is really cool. I like Abyss quite a bit. It actually ends up being really cool, and I love this move right here from the show. It was really cool when it's happened, so I'm really glad it's this move specifically. But yeah, he seems very promising. His Holy Relic increases pierce rate by 80%, so obviously there's a lot of different teams that people are doing where they sort of raise his pierce rate and stuff like that to make him do even more damage. His passive is very long, but it's very good. He removes a buff from the enemy team. He increases his own basic stats and everything, and it's pretty nuts. He's actually the really good character from the collab, from my understanding. Like, you have one character that normally outshines the rest of them. But yeah, I think that this is him. So if you're gonna try to get any character at all, I definitely recommend you grabbing this one. But hopefully best of luck with all of your summons. Hopefully they don't go terribly. I know, if you're wanting a lot of the original characters or whatever from the original collab, best of luck, because they are really, like their rates are a lot lower than the new characters are, and the banner itself is just kind of meh. So I think that it's a decent collab. I don't know how long Rimaru will last in the meta. I imagine that he's good enough on his own right now to where he'll probably last for a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months. So I mean, he's decently not future proof, but he's decently like relevant in the meta enough to where he can hold his own for a while. But yeah, if it was just something like kind of gimmicky, I would say probably don't waste your time, because it'll end up getting phased out pretty quickly. But the new green Rimaru seems good. All of these characters seem like they're just kind of gimmicky, to be honest. Like, I don't think that people are going to use them for long after they invest into them. That always seems to be how it kind of goes. You know, like, even though, you know, Rugal is kind of interesting, you never see Rugal. You know, Mai is kind of interesting, but you never see her, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of, like, characters that end up being kind of cool, but they don't last long in the meta because they're not actually that, you know, usable. So I don't know. We'll kind of have to just eyeball it a little bit whenever it actually drops, but those are just my thoughts and opinions on the characters from what I've seen so far, so hopefully that was a little bit informative. I have already started to build some UR gear for Rimaru. I just need to actually put the engraving stones into this for the new blue one, or for the new green one, sorry. And I would like to be able to get more use out of the set because there's 3 Rimarus, but this one's definitely not worth investing into. This one seems really lackluster, so I think it would be a waste of time, even though I could get more use out of that UR gear set. But I don't know, man. I think the green one is pretty much going to be the best use. Milam seems interesting. Bennymaru seems okay, but I don't know. We'll see a little bit more once it comes out. Hopefully this was helpful, informative, anything that you needed it to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.